Did you vote?
Of course not. And the reason why?
Why not?
Because there's no reason to vote here in this country. This country is based on genocide, slavery, and war. And like I said before, it has no future for us. And we have to fight the power, but also transform the people for an actual revolution.
And we're going to cover all this throughout the hour. Niger, I'll start with you on this again. I mean, I've covered a number of these types of protests as well and seen gentlemen like that with the face covered and what have you. And sometimes they are just for breaking up everything. They're not really for anything. But I did think it was worth noting that someone who has all of these things that they find being wrong, you say, well, did you try to change it? He says, no, I didn't vote. What do you think?
Well, a couple of things. One, that guy is a fraud who said that he didn't even vote and now he's just protesting. He didn't engage in the political process is to me a little absurd. But more than that, you know, look. Trickle-down socialism did not work, okay? Look, we've had President Obama, and God bless him. Trickle-down socialism didn't work, okay? I am hoping that the Trump boom continues and is healthy for our country, and that we can, because what those folk need, not the leaders of this, but what those folk in the streets need are jobs and economic opportunity more than anything else.
I think, John, Niger's right about one thing here, in that the president-elect will continue, it seems, to almost put everything else off to the side and be asked about comments he made during the campaign about this group or another group, and almost pretend it never happened and focus so much on the economy and on jobs. And I'm sure he's hoping that if he can get that turned around, everything else will be forgotten about. Don't you think, John?
Yeah, I think that's the hope with President-elect Trump, is that some of the stuff he said on the campaign trail was just that. It was just on the campaign trail to get elected, and now he's going to put that aside and try to be a president for all the people. The problems in Chicago, though, are extremely deep. I've done a lot of work with the Latin Kings and 2-6 Nation, the two big gangs there in South Chicago. And the problems they have right now, even if you have jobs, 50% of inner-city kids are dropping out of school. The problems that Chicago are protesting right now have nothing to do with President-elect Trump. This has to do with a very deep, unsatisfactory rating that they have right now in Chicago of everything, because these inner cities have been overlooked, and generational issues have got to be addressed in this case.
They're angry, though, John, about the police, they say, about police shootings. And I know that there were some, even recently, police-involved shootings in the news. But as I mentioned last hour, we've also had violence against police officers being carried out in the news as well. We don't hear much about that, you know?
That's right. And look, like I said, between the Latin Kings and 2-6 Nation, I visited what used to be a killing field there that's now a safe zone. But the fact that you have to build a safe zone just for kids to play soccer on is unbelievable that happens in one of the cities here in the United States. And the fact that you can have some police that have gone over the line, and there are some police that have gone over the line, you've got to be able to open the dialogue to say, okay, we have to prosecute those police by at the same time saying we support the police. You've got to be able to say that there's a small group that they've done things wrong. You have to be able to go after them. The Chicago police has to do that. The New York police, in the same tone, be able to say we support the police as a whole, and that's not happening right now.
No, more from Chicago throughout the hour here. Thanks, guys, all three of you. We appreciate it.